Hello, I'm Joe, aka Mr. Fragrance, and today I'm going to be talking about this, Vibrant Leather by Zara. It's a brilliant fragrance, but it's an Aventus clone, and there's a lot of stigma around these fragrances. So, is it going to beat that? How does it smell? Coming up. So hello everyone, this is my first video officially shooting properly in 2021, so happy new year to those of you that are watching this now. And yeah, you know, it's an exciting video. I'm in lockdown. I'm going to be trying to get as many videos out as I can, good quality videos as well. And basically, if I can do anything to try and entertain you, even if it's just for a couple minutes a day, that's great. So yeah, Vibrant Leather by Zara. I'm going to give you a little rundown of the facts about it first before getting into how great it smells. But you know, first of all, presentation looks good. You know, it's a nice simple design, but sometimes these simple designs just feel the best to bring with you. They're classy. It's got a lovely silver ring around the black plastic cap, but it's also got some weight to it as well, so there's possibly some metal in there. I don't really know. It's a great fragrance bottle though. The presentation is classic, and it's got the lovely Zara logo on the front along with the Vibrant Leather name as well. So this is an eau de parfum concentration. It was created in 2018 by the perfumer Jérôme Epinette. Now, he has been known to do some brilliant other fragrances, and it was actually quite a surprise to see him collaborate with Zara to make this fragrance. So he's been behind Ariana Grande's Thank You Next feminine fragrance. He's behind some feminine fragrances for Banana Republic as well. He's also behind Dolce & Gabbana's Lemon and then Dolce & Gabbana's Orange. Two fragrances which I'm yet to try, but they're both sounding really great, and I think I'd love to get my hands on them at some point. They're both 2020 releases. As always, you know, the perfumer, he's behind so many different fragrances, but the last one I'd like to point out is L'Occitane Eau Provence. He's behind the Citrus Verbena Intense version, which is a little bit, it's an intense version of the Verviers, which I am going to do a review on at some point, because that is one of my favourite citrus fragrances on the market. What a fragrance it is. But today we're going to be looking at this. You know, it's got a very, very simple note breakdown. And you know, sometimes that's the best thing for maybe a cheaper fragrance like this. You can get this size of bottle for $12.99. That's from in store. They very rarely have them in stock in store actually. But no, it's got the top notes of bergamot, mid notes of bamboo, and base notes of leather. Hence the name Vibrant Leather. So my take on this, I would say, is that they're going for obviously the Creed Aventus clone feel, but they're trying to possibly shape it in a slightly more Zara-ified way. It's not like they're. If I didn't know this was made by Zara, I would say, well, they're maybe missing parts of the Creed Aventus fragrance. But then I kind of come to the conclusion that it's possibly done deliberately. They've maybe simplified it a little bit more to reach and to suit the more Zara market. You know, there aren't loads and loads of fragrance connoisseurs or just people that love fragrances going to Zara and searching just for their fragrances. You know, you've got everyone, the general public that just want to smell good, going to Zara, and I think that's possibly what they've done. So let me just give it a spray. It's got a brilliant atomizer, very fine dusting, and you're kicking it off with a beautiful sweetness, sweet citrusy top note of bergamot. What a smell bergamot is, really. It's completely the opposite of earthiness. It's so light and heady and beautiful and sweet, and it can be made bitter, but it's not quite made bitter because the bamboo has a bitterness to it, which is kind of counteracting that sweetness from the bergamot. But the bergamot adds this really, really classy touch. It always does. Bergamot always does that, adds a kind of classiness to a fragrance. But even in the top notes, the leather is still coming through. It's kind of like a perfect blend, and it's almost, because you've only got the three notes, they're almost kind of combining together to create one single top note, and eventually the bergamot does evaporate a little bit, leaving the more leatheriness towards the bottom, the base lasting. But no, bergamot, what a top note. It's very classy and very beautiful, and it's mass appealing, as you would expect. It is mass appealing. It's not something that's kind of, it's not sharp, it's not protruding, it's not gonna offend anyone. The mid notes of the bamboo, well, no, they're not a hugely prominent feature. as you would hope, as you would expect, because bamboo, when added, maybe when added to a fragrance without too much subtlety, it can become very, very potent and not too nice. It's quite a bitter, woody scent, and it adds class to a fragrance, but with too much, it can really bring down that fragrance and make it very, very, very difficult to deal with. You know, quite a kind of bitter, licorice-ish vibe. That's not to knock licorice. Whilst I don't enjoy eating licorice too much, I think it's a great scent. It's a great accord, and it can add to make a very nice smell. But bamboo, here and there, but they've done it very well. That's the main part of this. They've done it very well in adding it to this. It's given a touch of bitterness, almost a metallic smell to it, which really, really goes well with that leather base note. Wow, this leather base note does what it says in the bottle. It's vibrant. It's, you know, it's eccentric. It's not like a car seat leather. It's like a sweetness, a sweet leather, but not overly sweet because it remains fresh. The scent remains fresh, and I guess that's kind of coming from the bamboo in a way. But obviously, the bergamot is doing that mainly. But something I like to highlight is this metallic smell, and I like how this mixture of leather and bamboo is somehow creating this magical metallic smell. And it's not too strong, but if you say, this isn't exactly the nicest idea, but you know, if you've ever tasted blood in your mouth, you've bitten a lip or something, or you've bitten your tongue, it's got that iron taste, and it's almost like translating that to smell. You've got a touch of that. And again, I've mentioned class so many times already, but it does kind of create a classiness. It adds a little bit more diversity to this fragrance. You know, they're pushing the limits of a mass appealing fragrance. They're pushing the limits of mass appealing. And I think that to be able to walk into Zara, buy a fragrance that's £10 to £15 for this 50ml bottle, sorry, 60ml bottle, and come out being able to smell like Creed Aventus. And that's what I'm going to be moving on to now. Creed Aventus, how similar is it? Well, the bergamot, yes, is creating a very nice citrusy vibe, but the citrus that you get in Creed is a little bit more, it's a little bit more wide range. You know, it's not just bergamot you have in Aventus. No, when you smell Aventus, it's kind of it's pineapple. You've got berries in there as well. It's a fruity citrusness, and this is maybe a little bit, slightly, just a little bit too plain if you're really wanting to smell like Creed Aventus. And that's not a problem. You know, it's only if you're really striving to smell like Creed Aventus that you maybe start to think, okay, there's possibly better clones out there. Because Creed is just so elaborate, whilst actually smelling quite simplistic in a sense, and it's hard to describe that really. But you know, you've got very beautiful fruity top notes in Creed, kind of herbaceous floral mid notes, and then musky, earthy, sweet base notes as well. And that's a very intricate scent, whilst kind of combining to create a very smooth, simple scent. But this, you know, it's missing that, you know, intricate top note. Mid-wise, well, you know what, Bamboo has done a great job. It's like a one-man show that's doing a brilliant job at kind of picking out the best parts of Creed and pulling it together. And it's a great like glue in the middle of these three notes in this fragrance. And finally, the base notes. Yes, well, it's missing that very earthy scent, but the leather is what you're striving for in this. But I think, as I said at the start of the video, they're taking their own way, they're taking their own kind of stride at making a Creed Aventus clone. Is very, very, very good. It's beautiful. It's not spot on, but I don't think that is what they wanted to do. And I think if you want to smell a little bit like Creed, but smell slightly different, have its own take on it, without sacrificing that classiness, this is the way to go. Vibrant Leather by Zara is a brilliant fragrance, and it smells great, it smells classy, quite rich, It's got a lovely metallic smell to it, which I think is something to really look for in this fragrance. So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope I did this justice, because obviously there's a lot of hype about this fragrance out there, but I think it's a very, very good fragrance. And finally, just whilst doing this, whilst fiddling with the cap and the bottle whilst I've been making this video, there is a almost magnetic, slightly magnetic attraction, and there must be a little bit of metal in the top of this cap that keeps it on. It's very sturdy. So you know, that's where the heaviness comes from in the cap. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like, subscribe and comment if you haven't already. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see next time on this channel. I'm really enjoying doing this. Thank you so much for you subscribing. You know, it's really great to see that people are supporting the channel and enjoying the content as well, because I'm loving doing this. I'll try to keep as many videos coming over this lockdown period especially. Keep safe everyone, and yeah, thank you very much. See you next time.